Hello, everyone. Just wanted to go over one lesson that we've been working on all this week, which is playwriting. We're using a very simple structure called the story spine. Story spine. So we're going to go over that really quickly we can all you can all write your own plays at home and create your own stories at home with your friends, with your family as well, and with yourself, which is pretty fun. So let's go over the story spine. Yeah. This is also brought to you by the Hideout Theater. So and they have this is their story spine that we're working off from and off of. Yeah. The first part is once upon a time. This establishes who the characters are, where they are, location, who, and then also any other details about them. So let's do this. Oh, and also names are very important. So let's have a main character by the name of Pat, and Pat. Let's see. Once upon a time, Pat was walking in the park. Let's just keep it very simple. So we'll call that person Pat. So once upon a time, Pat was walking in the park. In the park. Cool. So we know Pat is who the person is and what they're doing, where they are. The next part is an everyday. This establishes their everyday routine, just really like basic, everyday thing that they always do. So, and let's say every day Pat liked to feed the birds. Okay. Cool. All right. So now we've established who Pat is and what they like to do every day. Pretty cool day, actually. And then the next part, until one day. Why it's in different color in red, because it's a huge change that happens in the story that affects Pat directly. So it could be something like, it disrupts their routine. So it could be something like their arch nemesis, Steve, came by and growled at them. I don't know. Or it could be something very simple like didn't have anything to feed the birds, or the birds weren't there. It's like the more clear and more simple that you can make it in each part of the story, the better the story is going to be. If you have a lot of details, that's perfect. But for right now, we're just kind of forming the spine, and then we add the muscles, the nerves, the skin, all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah. But right now, we're just creating the spine. Let's do until one day, Pat forgot the food to give to the birds. Let's do that. Sometimes people are forgetful, and that's okay. So. Pat forgot the bird seed. Cool. All right. And then we have the three parts, or more. It can be more or less. And because of that. So this is kind of like either Pat is going to go through a lot of really downturns or upturns and ups and downs. This is the middle part of the story where one thing leads to another, a cause and effect happens throughout. So, we always like to have three, simply because it's a good balance. It kind of creates like, will they return back to normal? Will they not? Who knows? We'll see. So this part, and because of that, the birds got upset. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So, and because of that, the birds got upset. And so if the birds get upset, then what happens next? So, and because of that, the squirrels got upset too. Oh, and also for this green section that we're doing, once again, they can go through a huge downward spiral, or a huge upward spiral, or up and down. It can be anything and everything that you want it to be. They can go through all the ups and downs, as characters do. Yeah. So the birds got upset, the squirrels got upset too, and because of that, um, the whole park was very angry. Was very angry, and they had to close down the park. Oh no! So yeah, so this is kind of on a downward spiral. So they had to close down the park until finally there's another red part right there with the star. So that means another big change happens. So the difference between the green and the red is the fact that like this is a change towards a final conclusion, and this is this is something that breaks up the everyday routine of what's happening. And so this is kind of like breaking up this routine, this flow, and be like, whoa, stop, here's a final solution. So this is kind of a final solution with everything. So until finally, Pat realized he had it in his other pocket the whole time. This took place over like 1 minute. So cool. All right. So Pat realized he had the birdseed in his other jacket pocket the whole time. This part at the end is kind of like a nice little conclusion, to the whole story. So, and ever since that day, Pat decided to have birdseed in both of his pockets, so he would never forget. Cool. All right. So, and ever since that day, Pat decided to have birdseed in both of his pockets, so he'd never forget. And sometimes I like to add the moral to it. This does happen with some story spines. Sometimes it doesn't. So it's up to you. We'll add a moral with this. And a moral is kind of like a wise phrase, being like, oh yeah, that's what I've learned. That's the main idea of this story. That's what I've got. So moral of the story is, be prepared. Yeah. Cool. All right. And there we have it. There we have our whole story. I'll read it out. So, once upon a time, Pat was walking into the park. And every day, Pat liked to feed the birds. Until one day, Pat forgot the bird seed. And because of that, the birds got upset. And because of that, the squirrels got upset too. And because of that, the whole park was angry. And they had to close down the park. Until finally, Pat realized he had the bird seed in his other jacket pocket the whole time. And ever since that day, Pat decided to have bird seed in both of his pockets so he'd never forget. Moral of the story, be prepared. Yeah. So this is us, which is pretty cool. And yeah, so we've made up a story on the spot. So now, like, if you wanted to add some more details to it, you could add like, maybe what did Pat look like? What was Pat wearing? Probably a jacket. And also like what type of birds they were, and what type of bird seed was it? How were the squirrels? How did they get upset? What do they do? You can start fleshing this out and start adding the muscle to the spine, the nerves to the spine. You get it. Yeah. So you can make a full-bodied story. But this is going to help start you out on your way to creating a play and creating a story right on the spot. All right. Yay. So if you have any questions or anything like that, just let me know, and I can help you out with your story. All right. See you guys later.